Welcome to the Art of Three-Way Calling. I'm Romy Neustadt, and I'm thrilled to teach you today how to use this incredibly powerful tool to help you close prospects. Now, first off, it may sound a little odd, this name of three-way calling. Well, just know, internally, we call these conversations three ways. Probably not the best use of the term externally. Instead, always to your prospects, call these conversations conference calls or a phone chat. That way, it won't seem as confusing or foreign or unnatural to the people that you're talking to. Now, by now, you should have already watched the webinar on how to talk to people about your business. In it, I first introduced this concept of the three-way call. Well, now we're going to get into the nit and gritty of how it works. After you're done watching this video, you will understand exactly how to do these calls, whether you're a member of the downline bringing a prospect to your upline to close, or whether you're a member of the upline who is helping anyone in your downline to close a prospect. Now, please keep in mind, after you get really good at this and your teams start growing really big and you start working collaboratively with people cross-line, you may, in fact, start doing these types of conference calls with people who are cross-line to you, people that don't even profit from one another. The point is to do them and do them effectively and efficiently. So when you're a newbie, there is no more important element to add to your arsenal than the three-way call. All right, so let's get started on how these work. First of all, let's talk about why they're essential. Why do we do them in the first place? Well, it's human nature. We need third-party validation. Yeah, it's good when somebody you know or has been referred to you tells you that the thing that they're doing is the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's even better when you hear it from somebody else. And it's also the way that we train our new consultants. See, by virtue of being on these conference calls with members of your upline, you as a new consultant become more comfortable at handling objections, more adept at bringing people to make a decision about the business. On these conference calls, you should be listening and absorbing everything that's being said so you in turn can duplicate it. This also teaches our simple, highly duplicatable system. By you doing three-way calls with your downline, it promulgates that system. They, in turn, will do it with their people, and so on and so on. We know that when you follow the steps of what works, that's how you get quick and fast duplication. The other thing it does is it reinforces the collaboration that I so love in this business. Remember, network marketing is amazing because you get to work for yourself, but you don't have to work by yourself. So don't think that you're supposed to do this all alone. Work with your leaders to help you learn how to bring people to a decision and then teach your people to do the same thing. All right, so this is incredibly important to understand exactly when to insert the three-way call into your recruiting process. So as you learned in the How to Talk to People webinar, you want to suggest this conference call after a prospect has expressed interest in the business. Once they've said, yeah, I think this could be a good fit for me and I really need to learn more about it. Also, you want to make sure that they have been sent a more information email, like the one you can find on the Powered by Romy Google Drive shared account. You know, you want to make sure they've seen your websites and get a sense of what their web interface would look like when they become the Amazon.com of skincare. You also want them to be able to have been introduced to the doctors. So that doctor's video is extremely important. And then passing along any leaders' videos whom you think they would resonate with. And then finally, before they get on that call, you want to make darn sure that they understand this is in fact network marketing and they are investing in a business. This is not a job interview. It does require a minimal upfront investment, and they will be running their own business. That's why I always like to mention that when I'm doing my presentations with people, either over coffee or on the phone. And I always like to send them the Getting Started options in that more information email. And the Getting Started options document that lists just the $6.95 and the $9.95 kits, what we recommend in order to actually start a business that will grow teams. Well, that document is listed also on our Google Drive shared account. Setting up a three-way call is very simple. Don't overcomplicate it. First, let's talk logistically and technologically, and then we're going to talk about how you tee it up once you're on the phone. So you may have heard me mention this before, but I really recommend you all get good at conferencing people in on your phone, both your landline, if you have one, and also on your cell phone. It just makes it super easy to connect three people on the phone. And also, down the road, you may be doing these types of conference calls on the fly. You may be sitting across from, sitting on the sidelines watching your kid play soccer, talking to somebody, monetizing that downtime, and the prospect's so interested and wants to hear more, and there's a great sense of urgency. So you may want to actually try dialing in your business partner right then and there to see if you can catch him or her. So get really good at how that works. Now, how to tee up these calls once you have arranged the time and you're reaching out to your prospect. Here's what you do. You get everybody on the phone. Now, if you are the downline consultant who is bringing the guest to a member of your upline, promise me you will do the following. Jump right in. Don't allow any awkward silence at the beginning. I'm going to teach you exactly what to say, but just jump right in and take control of the conversation. It will put everybody at ease. It'll make it flow more naturally, and your prospect will feel incredibly secure because it will just seem like the most natural thing to do. All right, now let's talk about how to kick this off. You as the downline, if you're the downline, you're going to introduce and validate both your guest and your business partner. Okay, so let's focus on that for a minute. Don't read on in the slide. Just listen to how we do this. So let's pretend I'm Romy, the upline, and we have Jane, the guest, the prospect, and then we have Amy, who is the downline consultant who's bringing the guest, okay? All right, so the guest is going to get on the phone with both of us, and Amy, the downline, is going to say, I'm so thrilled to have you both on the phone. Romy, I want to introduce to you, and I think I called our guest Jane. I want to introduce to you Jane. Jane is one of my oldest and dearest friends from college, and even back then, she was always the biggest dynamo. She could get more done in the morning than the Marines. And I'm so excited that she's taking a real good look at this business because I think she'd be amazing at it. Jane, I was really excited for you to talk to Romy. She's a very important mentor to me and has been really instrumental in my success. And she's going to help you help get all your questions answered today. And we're going to really be able to figure out whether this is a good fit for you. All right, now, please note something. Amy as the downline did not glorify me as the upline as this, superhuman goddess. She didn't go on and on about, oh, she's this, and she earned the Lexus, and she did this, she did that. A lot of you are going to be doing three-way calls with consultants who have achieved a great deal of success. But don't make it about that during the introduction. Make it all about how this is going to benefit Jane, the prospect, in terms of is this a good use of her time and what's in it for her. Allow your upline consultant to put in his or her success points when they're telling their story. Okay? So you just make those quick introductions, and what you've given the upline is a little bit of insight as to why this prospect is so attractive as a consultant and why this prospect is thinking she might be interested. You know, what this does is it clues your upline into some talking points, but it also makes your prospect feel really good and wanted. Now remember, like everything else in our business, you want this to be authentic. You want to only say the things that you really feel and are really true about the prospect. If you try and exaggerate or blow smoke up somebody's butt, quite honestly, they're going to smell it. So don't go there. Be authentic. All right, so then it's time for the upline to take control. Okay, so you as the downline pretty much gets to sit back and relax. You're going to take this all in. And you're going to jump in and add some things if your upline leader or your prospect specifically asks you. But otherwise, it's your job to sit back and let the other conversation happen. So me as the upline is going to jump in and say, it's so great to talk with you, Jane. You know, I know that Amy told me a little bit about your background, but I'd love to hear a little bit more. What have you been up to? So get them talking about where they've been, what they've been doing. And you should probably take some notes. Jot down some things that you can glob onto later on in the conversation as I teach you to help further support their hunch that Rodan and Fields is a good fit. So let them talk. And then ask them, so tell me, what is it about Rodan and Fields that's attracting you most, or exciting you most, or intriguing you most? Pick the word that you like, but it's a phenomenal transition to get them to say out loud why they think this is a good idea. Again, you might want to jot down notes about that because you can play this back to them at a later time. And then you want to transition to your story as the upline. Okay, so they're going to talk about why this is attractive to them. One transition phrase may be, well, you know, Jane, that really spoke to me too. When I was at a point where I wanted to earn a lot more money but didn't want to sacrifice time with my kids, I just didn't know where to turn, or however the transition is. Now, if she said something that you truly cannot relate to, you can't tie it back to your personal experience at all, this is where those story libraries come in to such important play. You can say, well, you know, Jane, we hear that all the time. In fact, we have a lot of real estate professionals on our team, including one of my top leaders, or one of the top leaders on our team, Kim Krause, who achieved enormous success, but then with the recession, just like you, lost everything. Well, this is an incredible opportunity for real estate pros to use all their skills and experience, but get back on their feet. And then you transition to your story. You see, for me, network marketing was never on my radar screen. See, I was a lawyer and then a PR exec, blah, 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 blah. Go through my story. Now, you may see people do stories different places. On the phone, in front of a room at a business presentation, in front of the room at a BBL. Please note something that's very important. The three-way call story that you do on these conference calls, that story should be significantly shorter than one you may see a top leader give in front of the room at a business presentation. They're on the phone. You don't want to put these people to sleep. That is your quick minute top story. 45 seconds, even better. Just get your story out, the really important points, the quantifiables of your success, as I also term it, the crescendo, and then you want to transition away from you. You make it about them. So I always like to say, but enough about me, Jane. I want to use this time to get all your questions answered so we can determine if this is a good fit for you. Do you notice I said, so we can determine if this is a good fit for you? I want to set the tone, and agreed, this is a little subtle, but I want to set the tone that we're going to have a discussion about this. And really, we want to make sure that this person's a good fit for us too. We don't just take anybody who's breathing. We want the right fit. So let's get all your questions answered so we can determine if this is a good fit for you. And then I always like to ask a really simple conversational question. So what blanks can I fill in? I mean, that's just really normal and natural. We'd say that just in normal conversation, even if it wasn't on a conference call for a network marketing company. Now, this is what I call the guts of the call. This is where they usually ask for more details about the business model, the comp plan, and to raise objections, okay? So let's talk about the objections, because those are the things that you're going to hear over and over and over, and you want to get really good at answering them. Now, I'm going to give you some suggested answers. Sometimes there's going to be more than one option that I'm going to give you as to how to answer these, and you may come up with even better ones, or your business partners may have even better answers. Whatever it is, just get really comfortable in the answers you give. Have incredible belief system about what you're saying, and buttress them wherever you can with stories. Facts tell, stories sell. So you're going to see as I answer these, I'm sprinkling in really compelling stories that prove my point. Here's the good news. We really only get a finite number of objections in this business. So once you master these, you are golden. First objection, not enough time. It usually comes up with, I just am so busy. I just don't think I have time to fit this in around everything else I've got going. A proposed answer? Oh, that's great news to me, because we're looking for busy people. Busy people make things happen. And the way this business model works, we get to teach you how to fit income-producing activity into the nooks and crannies of your life so that you can really leverage the 15 minutes here, 20 minutes here, half an hour here to grow your own business. We will help you figure out where your hours of operation are going to fit, and I'm thrilled to hear you're so busy. My top leaders all started this business around incredibly busy lives, oftentimes with full-time jobs, multiple kids, and a whole host of volunteer activities, community outreach, board positions, and just being really active in all aspects of their lives. Now, I also suggest that you have a story at your fingertips about somebody who started this super busy. I can speak to myself, and I invite you to use my story. In fact, one of our top mentors on our team, Romy Neustadt, when she started this business, she had a 6-month-old, a 3.5-year-old. She had a thriving PR consultancy. She was helping her husband with his 2 startup businesses. She was doing health care for her mom, who had just broken her pelvis, and she was sitting on a couple of nonprofit boards. She always jokes she needed this like she needed a hole in her head, but she simply couldn't pass it up. And she fit this in to the nooks and crannies of her life, and 3 years later had grown $1 million business. Now, you may have your own busy story or somebody else on your team, but illustrate that. That will illuminate them to the possibilities. How about this one? They're not a salesperson. Oh, I could never do that. I've never done sales in my life. I couldn't sell anything. Here's a proposed answer. Oh, terrific, because we're not looking for salespeople. In fact, this really isn't the sales business. We're in the business of sharing. We share with people about these clinically proven products that actually do what they say they're going to do. And we also share about the possibility of becoming a turnkey entrepreneur with this global brand. Now, some of the people you share with are going to want the products. Other people you share with, well, they're going to see what you see, and they're going to want to start and grow a business with you. It's not sales. I often joke this is the human capital business. So it actually thrills me that you're not a salesperson. Okay? That's a great option. Now, please note that if you happen to have a sales background, they may, your prospects may just kind of prejudge and think, well, of course you're successful. You are in sales. So you want to make sure you have stories available of non-sales people success stories. You can say, One of the very top earners in the entire company is a teacher with absolutely zero sales experience or zero business experience. Or you may be able to say authentically, my biggest runner on my team, zero sales experience. In fact, when she started this business, she was actually shy. You get the point. Add in those types of stories. Oh, I love this one. Don't want to bug my friends and family. I just don't want to do that. See, because some people have a pre-existing notion that that's what network marketing is, bugging your friends and family. So here's a proposed answer. Oh, thank goodness, because I don't want you to go bug your friends and family. In fact, if that's what you're doing, then you're really not coachable and you're not learning what we're teaching you. All we do in this business is share what we're doing, and we pick people's brains about who they know who might be a great fit. I probably think that you reach out to friends and family quite a bit to pick their brain about things. Maybe you're looking for a really good hair person. Maybe you're looking for a house cleaner or a babysitter. You can call up all the time and pick somebody's brain. Well, it's no different here. Now, some of the people you do reach out to who are friends and family may in fact be looking for what you've got, whether it's the products or the business proposition. And wouldn't it be amazing if you were able to grow something huge with the people you love, or at the very least like? And wouldn't it be amazing if you're able to help the people you like or love get the best skin of your life, of their lives? And that's it. That completely dispels this whole bugging thing. I don't have the money. I would love to do this, but I just don't have that money right now. Okay, with this one especially, I always like to appreciate what they're saying. Oh, I can totally appreciate that. We know after this incredible recession that there are a lot of people out there hurting. But then I always like to add, and because money is so tight, you really need this more than ever. And then you transition to how we do what we do to help them get an ROI. So as we've explained, to get started in this business, it's $6.95 or $9.95. Now, if I could show you a way to recoup that initial investment in your first 30 to 45 days, are you interested in building a business? And if they say yes, say terrific. Because what we'll do is we'll get you started right away on income-producing activity. So you are adding customers and adding business partners, maximizing our compensation plan with product profits, commissions on your team, and these team-building commission, volume commissions that you'll get. All of that combined is what's going to help you get back your initial investment and then become profitable. And we can do that as quickly as you want to. You want to run fast, we will run with you. Now, if they say, when you say, if I could show you a way, would you be interested? Well, what if they say, well, I don't even have that kind of money on a credit card, or I don't have a credit card, which is not uncommon in this day and age. So here's what you say. We've had a lot of people join us in your same predicament. Well, here's what they've done. They have sold jewelry, had garage sales, house sat, pet sat, cashed in equity parts of their life insurance policies even. They've taken out loans from relatives, anything that they could do to come up with that money. Now, I'm sure that there are some creative ways that you could, get $6.95 or $9.95. And I'd love to help you brainstorm them. And what we really love about people who have to scrape together this startup money, well, they're hungry. They are willing to run fast to maximize our compensation plan so that they're profitable right away in their first 30 to 45 days. And we can help you do that. So that's how you handle the money objections. How about this one? I live in a really small town. I just don't think anything like this would fly. Well, I always like to first joke with them. Well, I got to tell you, in this business, size doesn't matter. And then they usually laugh. And then you can transition to the real explanation. Actually, what we found in this business is that even in very small towns, we are seeing tremendous teams emerge. Um, just so you know, you're going to add business partners right in your backyard, yes. And you're also going to add them wherever you know people with skin across the country, or wherever you're referred to somebody who has skin across the country. So yes, you could start building in your backyard and start building quite a considerable team. And then it could expand who knows where, anywhere in the US. So what we want to focus on is helping you get started on creating the list of all the people you know with skin. And then we're going to teach you how to start reaching out to them. So just know that there are a number of consultants coming from smaller markets that are doing incredibly well. And here's some stories for you to tack on to that. We have the Lexus earner, Lori Hart from Wimberley, Texas. Don't know if you've heard from Wimberley. And I got to tell you, one of the most successful parts of our team originated in Bozeman, Montana, the thriving metropolis of about 35,000. So far, there are 6 Lexuses or Lexi that have originated in that small town. All right, so that's how you deal with that. Oh, this one you're going to get, I promise you, so listen up. You know, this sounds really great, but I have to try the products first. You see, I have to really believe in what I'm selling, or what I have to really believe in what I'm representing. I love this one, so here's how I approach it. I always acknowledge that. Oh, I totally understand that, and we can get you started as a preferred customer today. But I have to tell you, I think there are like 3 reasons why most people jump right in and become a consultant first. First, it's the doctor's reputation and their track record. Second, well, it's that our clinically proven products produce such jaw-dropping before and after pictures, I know we've shared some with you already, that are completely untouched. So people take a look at this and know that these suckers work. And then finally, well, the truth of it is that while you're on the way to the best skin of your life, you can be collecting your first paycheck. You can already be earning product profits, commissions on your team, bonuses, even a free iPad. So that's why they jump right in. I think you would be thrilled to get started right away, and we can get you on the road to your first paycheck and the best skin of your life. Now here's a little something to add if you're getting someone who is a pharma rep. I love this. If they're saying, well, I really need to try the product first, you can always joke with them. So what drugs did you rep when you were in the field, or what drugs are you repping? You know, and depending on what they say, you know, maybe they'll say they were on a cholesterol drug, a statin. Say, well, do you have cholesterol? And if they say no, well, then you say, well, did you try your drug before you started repping it? Or the best one, the best one would be to say, well, you know, I know you're a pharma rep and you've been handling, you know, different brands, different drugs. So tell me, if you were assigned Viagra, would you need to try it first? And it's really funny if you're talking to a woman or if you're talking to a guy. If you were repping a birth control pill, would you have to try that first before you could sell it? That one is a slam dunk. They just giggle and say, oh, I see your point. The pyramid question. Is this pyramid scheme? All right, I first have to come clean. I've only heard this twice, and I've been doing this at the time of this recording 3 years now. I've only heard it twice. Once was when I was talking to someone for referrals of just a very pompous, curmudgeon-y guy in the marketing profession, and he raised the pyramid question, and there was no budging him on that, and I just laughed at him, and today I earn a lot more than he does, so I laugh now big time. The other time was on a 3-way call when the downline consultant who brought me this prospect, well, it turns out, and this is very important to understand, it turns out that downline consultant still wasn't so sure that she hadn't joined a pyramid scheme. My point is that this is all about posturing. I don't think I've heard this much at all because I was convinced from day one this isn't a pyramid. I knew that this was an incredible business proposition, turnkey entrepreneurship with a global brand. And so it just doesn't come up. So if your belief system and you're posturing and you're leading with the business and you are prepared and authentic, you're not going to get the pyramid question. But if you do, here's a couple different ways you can handle it. You can be very quick and say, no, it's not. Is that what you're looking for? And then continue. That's a good one, right? Stop them right in their tracks. Or you can take the legal response. Oh, no, not at all. I mean, as you likely know, a pyramid scheme is when there's an exchange of money without a reciprocal exchange of goods and services. That's certainly not what this is. We have so many elated preferred customers out there changing their skin. Or you can do the funny one. I love doing this one, and I actually did it with that prospect on the three-way call. Here's how the funny one goes. You know what? You're absolutely right. This is a pyramid scheme. After our doctors, Katie and Kathy, achieved ginormous global success with Proactive, they went on vacation, and they were sitting on the beach in Fiji. And Katie looked at Kathy and said, you know what? I know what we should do next. Let's create a pyramid scheme and completely annihilate our reputation, completely annihilate our fortunes, and just screw with people. Okay, so I said that, and this person started laughing so hard and said, oh my God, I guess you're right. There's no way this could be a pyramid scheme. And I said, well, precisely. So let's get back to talking about whether or not this business is a good fit for you. I still love that one. Okay, you've handled all these objections. They're going to fire them at you, and you're going to knock them out of the park. And then you go to the transition to the close. I like to do it by talking about what leads to success. I'll say to them, so any other questions I can answer for you? And then they'll usually say no. So then I transition with, so I just want to take a quick minute and just tell you what I've found makes for a really successful consultant with us. The types of traits that tend to suggest someone's going to really do well at this. Okay, first, you got to love people. Really talking to them, learning about them, connecting with them, and helping them succeed. I mean, that's how we do what we do. You have to be coachable. If you haven't already gathered, this isn't rocket science. It's a system. You learn it, you duplicate it, you teach it to others. You got to be willing to put in 15 hours a week. Now, if somebody is insanely busy and has already clued you in that they're just wanting to do this really part-time kind of dabble, I add in the 10 to 15 hours a week. But I tell them, you have to be willing to consistently, week in, week out, devote 10 to 15 hours a week at this business because it's not going to fall from the sky. But if you allow us to teach you how to slot this in around your existing obligations and commitments and things you love to do, we can teach you how to grow business. And then finally, we're looking for people who are hungry, who have a reason why for wanting to do this. Because with that reason why, that hunger, you're actually going to build your business. There's so many things vying for our attention. But that why will help keep you focused on building something that could change your future. So I'm getting the sense after talking with you for a little while that at least some of these certainly describe you. Is this a good fit? And then you say, if you don't know for certain, are you coachable? I mean, clearly you like people. You have a great personality. You seem very personable, and ask them, do you have 15 hours a week? Get them to commit and say, yes, I do. So by them acknowledging that they fit all these criteria, you're showing them why this is the right fit for them. And then you bring it to a close. Okay, remember when they were talking and I told you to jot down some notes? And then you just had a conversation with them about whether or not they have the traits that tend to suggest success for us. Well, now's your chance to repeat all of that back to them. so they can hear from you the validation that this is a good fit. So Jane, based on what you told me, I really think this is a great way for you to start spending part-time hours, building up a full-time income that one day could allow you to retire from teaching so you can ultimately spend more time with your kids. Okay, do you see how I've done that? And then you want to add the urgency message. Why now? Now, those urgency messages are going to change all the time. It's different with the seasons. You may be speaking to someone who's in a market where there's a market expansion project. It may be coming up on summertime, the most social time of the year where people are out and about, and they'll be able to pull out their sunscreen and say, hey, do you need some? And then it's a door opener. Any number of urgency messages, but you want to replay to them, why now? Why now? And then just simply tell them how they get started. This is where you are virtually taking them by the elbow and guiding them to the next step. So our next steps are easy. All we have to do is get you enrolled as a consultant, and you'll get your 2 online storefronts. Boom, you're open for business. And then your hand-holding and spoon-feeding begins. As your business partner, Amy is going to teach you income-producing activity right away. You're going to lean on her until you get your sea legs, and she's going to help you grow right away. It's an earn-as-you-learn program. And so that's all it takes to get you started. Now, have you and Amy discussed which business kit makes the most sense for you? Okay, that's how you introduce the business kits. Now, if Jane the prospect says, yes, I think I'm going with the $6.95, then you want to have a further discussion. If Jane says, yes, I'm going with the $9.95, you want to reaffirm that choice and say, terrific, I think that's a really smart move because it is the best deal for your money. Now, if she says $6.95, this is your opportunity to explain the differences between the 2 kits and to really enlighten him or her as to why the $9.95 makes more sense. So here's what you want to say. Oh, I understand that you may want to go with the $6.95, but I'd like to fill you in a little bit more, my insights as to the differences between the 2 kits. Would that be helpful for you? Ask permission. Would that be helpful? And they'll say, yes, sure. And that's when you explain the differences. You know, both kits are great, and we can teach you how to grow a business. Both kits come with product for your own walking billboard, so you're going to get the best skin of your life, and all 4 regimens that you're going to use for demo and display. You'll also get some marketing materials. But here's why I prefer the $9.95 kit. You're also going to get our entire anti-age arsenal because it's not just the face, it also extends to the lips and the hands. And that's what people are really interested in. In addition to that, you're going to get an on-the-go prospecting kit because that kit is going to allow you to show our most highly demonstrable products, our instant gratification products, anywhere you go. It'll be right there. It's like having 2 kits in one. And with your new business kits, this is the least expensive product you'll ever get. So this $9.95 kit is the best value. But here's what I always tell everybody, and I mean this most sincerely. If that extra $300 is going to make a difference in you being able to make ends meet, then go with the smaller one, because we can teach you how to be successful either way. But if that $300 isn't going to make a difference, it's a no-brainer. And then be quiet and let them talk. And they will explain to you their thinking, and they will choose their kit. And then your next job is to go ahead and set up the enrollment time. As the upline, it's your job to tee up this absolute closing enrollment right there for your downline. So I would say something like, well, terrific, Jane. Now we know which kit you're coming in on. Let's go ahead and get you enrolled. Amy, I don't know if you have time now. If that doesn't work for you both, because it will take about a half an hour, then Amy, why don't you give Jane a couple times tomorrow when you're available, which works for the 2 of you. And that way, Jane will be able to say, oh, I can't do it right now, I have to go. But then Amy can say, oh, well, no problem. Tomorrow I have 9 or 11 open. Which one works for you? And then she can say, and I'm going to send you a confirmation email, Jane, with our enrollment time and the link to my business website that you'll go to, and you want to have your credit card ready, and we'll get you started. Now, what if they're not biting? What if they're still hemming and hawing, but you've really answered all their objections? Then it's important to say, so Jane, tell me, what additional information do you need in order to get started? Now, people will still keep coming up with objections, but when they've stopped coming up with objections, but they still aren't ready to do something, it's okay to do what we call the takeaway and ask for referrals for your consultant. So really, get comfortable with saying, Jane, I totally understand if this isn't a good fit for you. It's not for everyone, but I know Amy would love to know who in your network might be a great fit. I'm sure there are some people who have been popping into your head as you've been examining this business for yourself. And I know Amy has a very generous referral rewards program where you can get free product or a finder's fee for anyone you send her way who becomes a preferred customer or a consultant. And that's when you have the referral conversation that I talked about in the last video of how to talk to people. And then remember, if they're not interested in the business, not only do you want referrals, but you also want them as a preferred customer. So it's your job as the upline to say, and by the way, have you talked to Amy about what you'd love to change about your skin? And then they'll answer. And then you'll say, well, I know Amy would love to have you as a preferred customer and have the opportunity to help you use these products that really make a difference, that will truly transform your skin. And then you can drop the line. You can say, I'm going to let you two go. Jane, it's been so incredible to be able to talk with you. I'm so looking forward to having you on the team, if in fact they're becoming a consultant, and to helping you grow. Or I know Amy's thrilled that you're going to be passing along other people in your network who might be a great fit. And you also will add if they are becoming a preferred customer. And I'm so excited you're going to become a preferred customer of ours to fall in love with the products. Not only are you going to benefit from it, but we always love having walking billboards out there. Okay, that's it. That's the three-way call. See, it's not some scary, awkward, weird thing. Just like everything else in our business, it's a conversation. So make those conversations happen often. Remember, the more people you talk to, the more people you put in that recruiting funnel, the more people who express interest in the business, whom you bring to your business partners on these three-way conference calls, the more likely you are to find like-minded people to join you in business. And within those people, you're going to find your runners. So, happy calling, everybody.